Hi, good morning everyone. I hope I get my camera angle set up okay. I had to move things, so let me know if it's not good. Of course, I won't see it for a week, so by then I will have moved things around again, but you know, I'm doing my best. Running down here to weekly string to see what this week's string is. And it's going to be way down here because there are a lot of them. We're on string 67. Which looks kind of like a tree. I'm going to draw it, but I'm not likely to use it. But you never know. Every so often, one of the patterns may inspire me. Of course, it'd probably help if I didn't stick my whole hand in the way, huh? Like a sort of a asparagus-y sort of tree, string 67. I'll leave it over here to inspire me in case I decide to actually use it. And then let's go back to the home page and go down to pattern focus and find today's pattern. I've not had a chance to look ahead this week. It's been a crazy week. So I have no idea what these patterns are even going to look like. This one's called U-Turn. There's one by Shazia. Oh, that looks interesting. Okay. Alrighty. Let's look at it up close, because this looks like it's one that's going to take a little bit of thought. But maybe it's not as hard as it looks. Maybe just the step outs look kind of weird. Okay, so it looks like for step one, we're going to make sort of a wavy line and then parallel it. And then we're going to make these sort of a spiral. One going one way, one going another. So the ones on top kind of start here and go this way. The ones on the bottom start down here and go this way. And then the next step is to connect the outside top to the string with a little rice shape. And then outside top to the string with a little rice shape. So not in the spiral part, just this outside part. We'll go across doing that. And then the third step is we're going to take a little crescent shape and turn it right in there. To make these sort of, I don't know, they almost look like a macaroni noodle or some sort of musical instrument or something. I'm not sure. And then the next step is we're going to make these another set of parallel lines going up into, like it's going into that little spot there, and here and there. I may choose not to make a full rice shape, but to make the shape with an opening, so I have room for that line to come in there. We'll see. And then we kind of echo this little crescent shape up here. And then you can embellish by putting some stripes, some little circular bits. We'll see. That's an interesting sort of a thing, and I have no idea if I'm going to be able to accomplish this, you know. But all you can do is try, right? Oops. Don't let my phone turn around like that. Okay, I'm going to close your eyes, everybody. I'm going to turn on my light. I did change my paper to, well, it's sort of a greenish gray, but you can't really tell. It looks very just gray. But it is sort of a greenish gray. I'm going to grab a tile. I don't have any white ones cut, so I guess I'm going to do them on colored ones again this week. I need to stop and cut some white tiles. I'm just going to start. I do think I'm going to put a little border just to stop my pencil from getting too close to the edge. You can go all the way to the edge if that's what you like to do. I don't personally like that, so I'm not going to do it. All right, let's see. I'm just going to travel it sort of diagonally across the tile, I guess. So I want to start with kind of a curvy line. And then I'm going to double that. Like that. Okay, so far so good. And then we need, on this side of the curve, we need these little spiral things to go kind of like that. And maybe you'd see. And then on this side, they go the other way. Okay. Next is this little rice shape, and I think I may. I'm going to just do it like this, and then I'm going to do that line, and then I'm going to come back and do the other half of it. Yeah. Okay. So it's that. And this follows this curve, and it makes a little thing like that. Okay. And now I want a line that follows this. See, and then I can go in like that, and then it'll go behind like that. I like that look better. So this week, as I'm doing my patterns, you may end up hearing quite a bit of noise outside. My contractor is moved to the other side of the house, and yeah, I won't be able to get away from the noise. It is what it is, so don't think it'll be too bad today, but it may, as the next couple of weeks move on, it may become an issue with sound. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try really hard to do most of my recording when they're not working, but I may not have a choice. So those look like that, and then there's supposed to be one more curvy bit that goes here, like that. Something like that. And I'm going to fill in here. These spots. If you guys haven't gone over to Facebook and joined the Tangle It Pattern Club, I encourage you to do so. The link to the Facebook group is in the description in the video. If you're on the desktop version of the YouTube, if you're just on the website, it usually right under the video starts the description, and then you might just see a little bit where it says my supplies or something is usually my first line under my description. There should be a button that says see more, and just click on that and it will expand the description of this video and all the others, and within the description you'll find a link to that group. If you are on mobile version, if you're on your phone or your tablet, next to, trying to remember, next to the little YouTube window, there will be a little down arrow somewhere. I don't remember if it was under the video or next to the video, but there will be a little down arrow, and that will open the description box. Anyway, I'm encouraging you to go over there and look at everybody's work. Check out what's going on over there. I want to do these little circles, like similar to what she did. Kind of far away, but you can see what I'm doing. You know, and post your stuff. Don't be afraid to post your stuff. We were all beginners at one time, and nobody will make fun of your line work or your effort, I promise. You'll get lots of good encouragement and feedback. And, you know, if you want tips and tricks on how to do something differently, you can ask for that. Otherwise, you know, don't. And just show your work, and we'll all say, good for you, and that was fantastic, or whatever. Especially if you say, you know, I'm a newbie, this is my first tangle ever, you will get a ton of support, because we know how difficult that is to do your first post. It's just, it can be stressful. Even now, sometimes it's like, I get stressed posting my stuff. It's weird. And so I get it. I totally get it. Alright, let's see what it looks like if we do like the sample has, and do these kind of a curve along here, and see what that looks like. If I don't like it, too bad. I've now committed it to ink. You don't have to draw in ink, by the way. You know, that's an official Zentangle method that they encourage you to just plunge in with ink. If that causes you stress, don't do it. Use a pencil. You know, you don't have to use fancy pens. You don't have to use special paper. You can use a pencil on the back of an envelope, out of the trash. Doesn't matter. Seriously, it's not. That's not the point. The point is to actually do the drawing. The drawing part is the part, not the final product, mind you. The actual act of drawing is the part that calms you down. And so it doesn't matter how you draw it. You could draw it in sand. Ina just expressed that this morning in the Facebook group, and she's probably going to get some discussion on that, but I just wanted to let you know that this is the general feeling of this group, which may be different than other Zentangle groups out there on Facebook. So if you're more comfortable with a group that's a little more relaxed and less rigid about the rules of Zentangle proper, this will be the group for you. Matter of fact, Ina just posted something in the group again. Let me look at it and see what it is. Oh, she did a beautiful little tile. So let me read to you what she wrote, actually, since I'm thinking about it. It says, of course my phone now is going to slow down. It says, good morning. This post is probably going to cause a bit of a stir-up. After teaching a couple of friends and also watching posts in this group, I noticed a lot of people are scared to put pen to paper. Well, if it causes stress to tangle with a pen, why don't you just start off with pencil? It's the actual drawing of patterns that is the Zen part, and if you trace your lines afterward with a permanent pen, you are building up muscle memory. Within a few days, your strokes will be great, and you won't stress about using the pen straight away. I know that following the Zentangle method is recommended that you do not use pencil to draw patterns. Well, I'm talking about creative pattern tangling, which is basically my method. The most important part for me is to get people to tangle. It does not matter what medium you use. You can tangle on scrap paper, in a journal, on cardstock, use pigment, pen, ballpoint pen, or pencil. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Build up the muscle memory by practicing the shapes every day. Fact is, to get into the zone or the flow, the happy place where you forget pain, worries, and time, a couple of aspects are important. And she says this is an excerpt from a new book that she's working on. Excuse me. And so she has quoted Dr. Mihaly. Okay, there's a word I can't pronounce. I can't even tell you what language this person's last name is in, but it's really long. It has lots of letters next to each other that in English don't go next to each other. So I can't tell. It's Susan Mentali or something like that. Not going to happen. Anyway, Dr. Mihaly has spent the last 40 years working as an academic and researcher and is known as one of the founders of positive psychology, which focuses on improving life and maximizing happiness and productivity. In order to be engaged in a state of flow, several conditions must be met. First, the creativity must be challenging, not too easy to be boring, or not too difficult to cause anxiety. And that's one of the great things. Whoa, what happened to my voice? It's one of the great things about this is that, and I'm going to continue to draw here while I talk, is that, you know, the patterns most of the time are just difficult enough to keep your mind focused. But they're not so hard that they're impossible to do. Now, every so often I've come across a pattern that is beyond me, but it's rare. You know, eventually I figure out how to do it. Sometimes I have to figure out a different way to do it because the way it's drawn doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't match what feels good for me. So but definitely the activity is definitely challenging, but not so easy that it becomes boring. You know, it's not hard to draw circular shapes. It's not hard to draw these sort of worm-like shapes with stripes in them. That's not hard to draw, but the complexity of deciding where to put them and how they interact with each other can keep your mind challenged, right? The second is that the task has to be active and engaging. And this is absolutely active and engaging, right? I've decided I just wanted some sort of other stripey thing coming out of my tile. You're a little too close now to see what I'm doing. There. I'm just made those lines because they came out and that's where they ended up, and now I'm going to do these stripy bits because I feel like it. There we go. Mindful and engaging, right? And I'm active. I'm in an active place of doing this while still engaging my mind in something that's not boring but not so difficult to create anxiety. If it feels like it's creating anxiety, you need to either back off, you need to change something that you're doing, or you need to do it in pencil and test it out first. All right? And then third, the activity has to have a clear parameter for success. For me, a successful tile is a tile that is finished. That's it. I don't even have to really like it, but it's successful if I've finished it. And I think I'm going to end up having to draw that border, but and for me and for my channel, I choose to draw on the standard Zentangle square tiles. Mostly because the size is good. I can get the drawings done in a reasonable period of time, so you guys aren't here like forever. When I use my big journals, I can take much longer to draw out a pattern, and sometimes that's what I need to get myself in the zone. Is I need to have some time, some concentrated time where I'm doing a bigger piece. You know, there are days where, you know, I just have to draw to work through stuff. And then it says, finally, the motivation for the activity must be coming from within, gaining personal satisfaction and be internally motivated to complete the task. So, yeah, to me, drawing, it's part of who I am, and it just comes from me, and I have to do it. Now, which particular pattern I'm drawing today, that's not coming from me. That's coming from the daily pattern. But that's okay, you know. I don't need every bit of my tile to come directly from me. Just the motivating factor, the motivation of why I want to draw is coming from inside of me. Nobody's saying you have to do this. Because when you end up, I think that's part of the thing when people say, oh, you should sell your stuff. And I think to myself, no, I don't want to do that. And part of the reason that I don't want to do that is because then it becomes work and a requirement, rather than fun and something I do for the joy of it. Does that make sense? It's not that I couldn't do work that I get paid for. It's just that it changes. There's something that comes from the motivation of the activity coming from within for gaining only personal satisfaction is different than what happens when you are being paid for something. It just changes somehow the relationship of your art to your well-being. And so that is part of the Zen, part of the flow. And I think you lose it when you become fixated on making sure that it's perfect for sale rather than just letting it go for you. And that's just my personal opinion. You know, everybody has their own, and if you are able to have monetary success and it works for you, that's great. It just personally would not work for me. I would lose the zone. Just would. I thought I would lose the zone doing this, the videos. But apparently I don't, because doing the videos, I'm not doing it for monetary gain. I'm doing it for my own personal satisfaction and for learning a new pattern. And I think that's why I have not yet, you know, come to a place of burnout. Occasionally I get tired, but, you know, I always want to come back. It's like, oh, I miss it. If I haven't been drawing for a few days, I miss it. I want to come back. I want to, and so that's part of the Zen part, right? Oh, I like that. Always like those when you end up with that kind of look. So then after she finishes that quote, she says, so if using a permanent marker causes you anxiety, use a pencil. You will get more confident over time. It's just some food for thought. Looking forward to your comments. Please keep it objective and impersonal. Everyone has a right to believe in the one method or the other. This group is here for all. So, you know, she's encouraging those who are adherents to the actual Zentangle method to be in the group. It's not that she's saying you can't be here. And I guess technically most of the time I just pick up my pen and go. So most of the time I'm sort of adhering to the Zentangle method, but sometimes I don't. And you will see that in my videos. Sometimes I need an extra bit of pencil to keep me either focused, to reduce my stress. And so, you know, I do what I need to do to make me happy. And that's all Ina is saying, I think. But I think if that's an excerpt from her next upcoming ebook, it will be a fabulous book, don't you think? She's not just focused on the patterns. I mean, obviously patterns is part of what she does when she writes her books, but clearly she is also engaging in the psychology of what it means to draw patterns in a creative and mindful way. Just this act here of just coloring in these stripes is very calming and very soothing, and it's not difficult, but I do have to concentrate. I have to think about it. I have to not go outside my lines. I have to remember to put my little sparkle in there. This time I'm choosing to make my sparkle very straight. Did you notice that? I'm not doing that little zigzaggy sparkle that I usually do. I don't know why, but for some reason that this particular one wants a more smooth look, which is fine. I'm telling you guys, once you've started a practice of tangling regularly, whether it's daily or, you know, on the weekends or something, once you've started a regular practice, you will miss it if you don't do it. You will totally, there's something, it's really hard to describe, you know. For those who have done it, when I say, yeah, you need it, those people get it because, you know, they've done it. If you haven't yet started, I so encourage you to try. You know, some of the patterns might be too challenging for you at the beginning. Don't do those. Go back to the beginning patterns. I have a whole playlist for beginning, step by step of the beginning lessons. I used Ina's lessons from her website, and I went through those lessons step by step, even though I wasn't a beginning tangler. I went through the lessons anyway, and I did learn some things about myself, about my style. You know, I am totally, and I admit it freely, I am totally one of these free flow sort of, these types of patterns that are more flowy are my thing. I like them. I am happiest when I'm doing them. Grid patterns are not always my friend, and I'm not always happy when I'm doing them. But I'm learning to do them better. And the more I'm practicing them, the happier I'm becoming doing them. So I find that fascinating as well. If you like this tile, it needs something with a spiral. Because of these spirals, I think it needs some more spiral something, but I'm not sure. Maybe just here. Maybe it'll come out from here and go around like that. Oh, I'm drawing with my bigger pen. That's why it looks different. That's alright. I forgot I had my bigger pen with me. That's not the same spiral. Huh. Okay. Well, that's what happened. Okay, I like those better. Then I need to switch over to my 01 pen again. I forgot I had that bigger one. Where am I filling in? I'm going to put some more of these little circles just to kind of match with what I did there. Yeah, so I'm drawing today. Usually I do most of my filming early in the week, but this week my schedule was such that I am not. This is the end of the week, and so it's probably been 5 days since I've drawn anything, and I was feeling withdrawals. I had to get in here and draw today. It wasn't an option. Besides the fact that I don't have time tomorrow either. So, you know, if I was going to get any drawing done for my videos, today is going to be it. But I also, besides having the video schedule, I also just really wanted to draw. I was so missing drawing. It relaxes me so much. And I don't know, really can't describe adequately in words how I feel after I finish drawing. It's almost as if I've taken medication. Okay, now do I want... No, I don't. Okay. I don't remember the name of this pattern, so I'm going to have to go back to the main page, back to pattern focus, because I had gone into Facebook. Sorry about the rant. Well, not really a rant, but sorry about the sort of off-leaning direction, but oh, this was U-turn. She's going to live like that. And we're going to do a little shading. I'm going to do both pencil and highlight, I think. Just deciding where I want things to be darker, where I want them to be lighter. Just thinking. Okay, I think I want here. I must have had another influx of new people on my channel because I've had a lot of questions again about blending stumps and pencils and supplies. My list of supplies is in my video description. I prefer a blending stump, which is this. You can use a tortillon, which is this, which is, it looks very similar, but this one's, I don't know if you can see it, it's rolled paper. And this one is like compressed paper. So they're different. I find that I tend to mash the tortillons, the tips of them, and I don't like them as well. It's just me. You know, everybody has their own preference. I just love just putting just a tad of white on these tan tiles. These are just makes me happy. I'm just totally loving this right now. It's become my favorite thing, I think. Okay, where else do I want light? I think at the top of these curves. Not the whole curve, just the top of the curve. Like that. And then I think I want dark in here. Opposite that light. And why do I want it? I don't know. It's just what I want. There's no specific rule on where to shade. Shade wherever makes you feel happy. The only rule I see is that you really should blend it. It's just because it makes it a softer line, and yeah, I like that. Am I done? Do I want a border? I think I want a white border. I've never done a white border. I'm gonna do white border. My watch is beeping at me. I wonder why. What's my watch saying? Oh, it's because I've been sitting too long. I have not been sitting here an hour. 41 minutes. That's not an hour. Well, maybe by the time I started recording, I could have been sitting here 15 minutes before I started. So I guess I need to stop, get up and walk around a little bit. And I'll be back. Okay. That looks interesting with a white border. Okay, there we go, everybody. Hope you have a really good day. You know, do something nice for someone today and make the world a better place. We're gonna, you know, work on that ourselves. Yeah, there are just some days are easier than others. And you just do your best, okay? Go out there and try and do a pattern. Doesn't have to be this pattern. Pick any pattern. Go back to the beginning patterns. Just put some circles and some lines on a piece of paper and get into the zone. And let me tell you, after a while, you will totally just feel a sense of peace and calmness come over you that I cannot describe. I really just can't. You just have to do it. So do it. Everybody do it, okay? Let me know that you've done it and how you felt afterwards. I don't need to know if your tile turned out great or if it turned out to be a complete mess or if you didn't even do a tile but you did you know, some pencil lines on the back of an envelope. I just want to know, did it help with your stress? Did it help with your anxiety? Do you feel better? Because if you do, then you need to keep doing it. All right, you guys have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.